going to be a little bit, it's probably going to be a little long of a video. But please watch all of it. This is really good today. Really good. Hey guys, welcome to Breaking the System. This is Andrew Riley. We're going to start another Ranting and Raving episode today. So today on this episode of Ranting and Raving, I just wanted to call out a couple of people that called me out. One of which is labeled L. He said, breaking the system, why don't you buy a telescope now? I think you lying, actually. Kids don't have telescopes. It was probably a little tube with 2x zoom or something really weak. That was the name. What was the name and model of that telescope? And we had already had a small discussion before this, but I'm not going to get into all that. So I replied, I said, honestly, I don't remember the name and model, but I tell you what, if you subscribe to my channel, I will buy a really high strength telescope and I will make a video of what I see. I'm not afraid to put my money where my mouth is. If you are willing to subscribe to my channel, does it sound like a deal? Now, just a quick tidbit, he was calling me out saying that I probably never owned a telescope in my life. Well, as a kid, I was a huge admirer of outer space. As a kid and into my adulthood even, I would sit out late, extremely late at night and do nothing but watch the stars and watch the planets. And shoot, in 2012 I actually watched the planets align in the, what I call the firmament. Stuff like that. I watched all that. I saw all that. I witnessed all that. I always thought it was really, really intriguing. But I always questioned also. The reason why I'm a flat earth believer now is because I was raised in church and I questioned science, NASA, if you will, plain and simply because of the fact that the facts didn't line up. The evidences of what we were taught and what I read in the Bible just did not add up. But anyway, so I wanted to give a shout out to L and to all my subscribers and anybody else watching. I will be buying a telescope. I will be making a video using that telescope at night. I'll probably make a couple of videos with it, at least a couple, and see what we see. If I see something different that starts questioning things, I'm not afraid to say. I have absolutely no problem saying that I've been wrong or whatever. If I'm wrong, if I can prove it without a shadow of a doubt, like I believe I'm proving the flat earth, or I'm seeing proofs of the flat earth. But anyway, to my second shout out, I wanted to say that I got a comment from a guy, I'm assuming guy because his title on YouTube is Meme Comic Guy. Again, also, him and I had a small discussion in the comment section. If you guys want, you guys can go back to my video. I think it was last Friday's video, labeled it is flat, or look, it is flat after all, talking about the earth. Anyway, he commented, and this is one of the comments. He said, breaking the system, if you truly want to challenge your beliefs, try subscribing to channels Scott Manley and Curious Droid. Watch some of their older videos and try to debunk or understand them. Maybe try to install Space Engine or KSP. Google what those things are. I replied, I will check it out and I'll make sure I do a video. So please be watching to see what I find. Now, I did already check it out. This these comments happened about 3 days ago now. I did check them out. I've still been working and I've been dealing with, I had to go to the hospital yesterday. I don't know if you can still see the wristband. I'm not one to go to hospitals, but a little bit into my personal life, I feel like something's crawling around up here, and that's the only reason I went to the hospital. I do not agree with how they handle situations 99.9% of the time. I don't take medicine. I don't get sick, so I don't need to take medicine. But that's a little bit of my personal life. But going back into this stuff, I'm going to get into that more. I get off of work in a week. This Friday, or today, is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a ranting and raving, like I already said. And then this Friday is going to be on another topic that I've got in mind. I don't know how it's going to go over, but we're going to find that out. And anyway, so I am going to check these guys out. I'm not forgetting. Meme comment guy, if you're watching this, please don't think that I don't care, because I do care. I actually, for one, want to hear what other people have to say about this, being that I'm such a strong believer. Like me, I believe it so strongly that it's like, I know it's flat. You know what I mean? So, I mean, honestly, I'm actually trying to become wealthy enough. The reason why I work so much, the reason why I do the things that I do, is plain and simply because my end goal is, if I have to charter a ship or something to where I can trek around Antarctica myself, or the flat Earth, or however you want to put it. I want to do it. I want to do it. It's been done twice in history. I've already made a video on those. I can't remember what I titled that video, but it's been done twice in history. I would like to be the third person to do it. With today's technology, and if I had enough money, screw trying to shoot yourself. You know, there's people out there trying to shoot that one guy, and I'm not bashing him by no means, but that one guy that built a rocket trying to shoot himself in outer space to see if the Earth is actually flat. The easiest way to do it is to either get a ship or a really nice sized boat and just go and do it. You know, I mean, yeah, it might take a year or two. Nowadays, it shouldn't take that long, but that's my goal. I want to see it. If nobody else beats me to it, I want to do that. If anybody out there that's really, really rich is watching this, and you want to sponsor me, you can get a hold of me through my contacts. It would be amazing to be able to go and do that. And I would love to put this to end once and for all. I can record the whole freaking thing, and with today's technology, I could probably freaking shoot it over satellites and everything else, and probably have it live streaming. I mean, nowadays with technology, it's almost limitless, so that there's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. You know, there's no way of denying the fact. But that's me. Let's see if the government allows it. Why my channel is called Breaking the System, which
actually takes me into today's topic, the ranting and raving part. This is where I get upset.
This is the reason why I get frustrated in today's society, and what today's society means, or the system is. Do we have rights? Do we have our freedom? Are we a free country? Or are we being told how to live and how to act? and how to breathe and how to eat and the way we should look and the way we should walk and the way we should talk? Are we being forced into a system of conformity? These are the questions that everybody should be asking themselves. Now, I'm going into another comment done by Sicker or Psyker, S-I-K-O-R. This was done on one of my Ranting and Raving, Breaking the System episodes. This comment was done. He said, she, I'm sorry if you're watching this, Sicker, Psyker. I'm not trying to be rude by no means. I'm trying to pronounce it and understand what you may be to the best of my knowledge from what I'm reading in a comment. But anyway, going into this person's comment, why break the system instead of learning it, using it, or reforming it? Breaking is easy. Learning and creating is hard. Now, the way I took his question / statement there is, why not just learn it instead of using it or reforming it? Because that is harder than just, or can be harder than breaking it down, or no, let me rephrase that. It can be harder than learning the system, but to break it down and then try to rebuild it is difficult. Sicker, Psyker, yes, I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. I wanted to write this in my comment. I'm gonna say it here because I didn't write it in my comment. The reason why we have America today is because of the fact that those people were running from the British, I believe, the British government, and they're controlling, and the way they were controlling the people, and they wanted to start out fresh. Can Americans just run from their country and start out fresh? It depends on how you do that. But land, you know, supposedly there's still some uninhabited islands in this world, but to go and start a country of your own nowadays, yeah. So there's laws on top of laws and rules on top of rules and do's and don'ts on top of do's and don'ts, because they're trying to keep us from being able to ever do that again, from being able to have our own freedom again, which is where America started, was founded. But anyway, going into what I had told Psyker, the system that we have today is drastically flawed. Not that I'm perfect, because I'm not. I am by far not perfect. And so all of you people that are out there watching and thinking, oh, well, this guy's got his crap together. No, I don't have my crap together. I have life. My videos are late for the last 3 weeks now because life happens, okay? People go through difficult times. I do not have all my crap together. Straight up. Anyway, going back into the comment. But if we could take it back to what the Constitution was all those years ago, we could have it back. The problem with that is the people of today are not as they once were. It says was, I meant to say were. I was at work when I was typing this. Anyway, the middle class is shrinking, the poor is getting worse, and the rich are getting richer. And it is all because the rich is taking money from the middle to feed the poor and keeping a tax on top of that for themselves, which is making the middle class not want to work anymore. So the system we have today needs to be broken down and rebuilt to show everyone that work is the only real way to make money. The backs of the middle class has been bending to the point of breaking for years now, and they are about to break. If people don't work, the civilization as we know it today will cease to exist. And then only people walking in this great land, it was supposed to be typo, and the only people walking in this great land will be the murderers and thieves of the rich, or such, because everyone else will be wiped out. Every great kingdom that ruled throughout history had the same thing happen. It all began about the money. It all became about the money, and the dynasty fell to ruins. The Romans and so many more. And that's why the system needs to be broken and tried to be fixed. Or not tried to be fixed, but just completely overhauled, just like a business that is about to go under. Bring it down and start again. But being that I'm a believer, how do we do it without killing off all the men, women, and children? We start by getting the people that are in places of power out of that power and make it for the people, by the people again. Thank you for watching my video, though. This actually gave me a great idea, or gave me an idea for another video. If you don't mind, I will mention you. Thanks again. That was all to and from Sicker. So I want to go in, I want to touch base on this a little bit. So when I was saying there, they'll be all wiped out. People will be wiped out. There's gangs and thieves running rampant through this country, and the only thing withholding them is some sort of civilization. If we were to wipe out, which was what I believe there is quite a few people trying to do in the system, the reason why the system needs to be broken. But anyway, or one of the reasons the system needs to be broken. There are people that are trying to break down civilization enough and gain complete control of the way everything is. I mean, you know, we still do have some freedom here as a country, but they're trying to completely take away our freedom, just like the Romans did at the brink of their fall. The Romans over 1100 years were in power, and then all of a sudden 80% being taxed to the middle guy, the guy pretty much doing all the work, and their backs literally just, metaphorically speaking, I guess I should say, metaphorically speaking, their backs just broke. They just gave. They couldn't work anymore because they weren't being able, or they started living off of the welfare of that day, because they would go to work 80, 100, 200 hours in a couple of weeks, and they were literally working nonstop, and they still didn't have enough money to feed their families, and it ended up getting so bad to where most of them didn't even want to work. So they started, and you can, I didn't bring any of this up, but you can actually look this up. You know, the farms started dying out, the crops started dying out, the animals started dying out, because nobody was wanting to take care of this stuff. Nobody was wanting to do their part throughout that system of that time. And people were getting sick, and things were happening like crazy that shouldn't have happened if people would have just been doing their jobs. Well, needless to say, because of that, look at all the crap that the Mongolians, I can't remember exactly who it was, but they came in and they just started wiping the Romans out, and just got them to where, I mean, literally the whole Roman Empire was collapsed within just a short amount of years, just a few years. 1100 years of strength, and then all of a sudden they're just overnight. And I'm talking about the Romans right now, but this happened through like 6 different empires throughout history. England, I mean, you name it. it's happened over and over and over and over again. Now, yes, we still have a little freaking country named England, but what they were back in the 1400s or 1200s or whatever it was, I can't even remember now. And I don't feel like going through the mountains of stuff that I was looking at earlier to actually show the time era. But they conquered Scotland, Ireland, they were conquering all these other countries. And then all of a sudden they're down to this much land on a map. You know, Persia owned like a third of the country, a third of the world, spread over like 4 continents. Rome was the same thing, you know, and every one of them had the same problem. Nobody wanted to do the work. Nobody wanted to take care of the business. So guess what? They fell. They cradled. They were too sick to fight in battle. They were too sick to take care of themselves.
Anyway, they were too sick to take care of themselves. They were too weak. When it came time to battle, they couldn't battle. You know, this kind of stuff has happened. And if you learn, the reason why we learn history throughout school years and all of that, see, a lot of people end it. Oh, well, I don't need to know that anymore. They get out of school and they just go about their days. They don't look into any more stuff. Now, I don't know everything. Hold on. I don't want to wake up my wife. Anyway, I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything. I do claim to know quite a bit for a 29-year-old, about to be 30. Yes, I'm getting old.
So, you know, because I continue to strive to learn as I get older, progressively learning more and new things. Anyway, but where I was going with my story is, you know, people don't realize that when you take and you watch what has happened throughout history, you can learn and you can see where our future is going with what is going on right now, especially in our country, in America. And the way I see it is, if we're not learning from our mistakes, from our past mistakes, and I'm not talking a couple days, I'm not even talking a couple years, I'm talking a couple centuries, I'm talking 5 or 6 centuries, 10 centuries, you know, 14, or the Roman Empire fell in 400 AD. You know, I mean, that's can't even think right now. 1600 years ago. That's a long time ago. That's a long freaking time ago. But you know what? I want to learn from that. What did they do that ended up cradling their civilization? Who did they get in a fight with, and why did they get in a fight? And then, why was their people not able to take care of them? Why was their people not able to defend them? These are questions that I continuously ask myself. The reason why I say my channel, Breaking the System, is for a reason. Let's get out of this systematic mindset of this is just the way it is. It doesn't have to be that way. The government, they can do whatever they want to try to do. I don't care. I mean, not that I don't respect them, by no means. I obey the laws to an extent of, to the extent of my beliefs. There are certain beliefs that I try not to get political, by no means. I'm not a political person. I try not to get in all that. But this is what I'm talking about according to my beliefs. I believe that everybody has the right to a free country. I believe everybody has that right as a human, I don't care what color of the skin you are, I don't care how tall you are, how wide you are, how short you are, how thin you are, I don't care. Everybody bleeds red, plain and simple. But there's a process to do it. And if the process is not being taken, we have these processes in the position that they're in, to take care of the people that are here. And I agree with that kind of stuff. I totally 100% agree with that. I try to obey the speed limits. I try to obey all those types of laws. I mean, you know, those, I mean, I'm guilty just like everybody else. Everybody speeds once in a while. Even if it's a couple miles an hour, you still speed, so don't lie. Anyway, going back into this, we need to become a civilization again, not a what do you call that? Dictatorship. I don't live in a dictatorship. If I wanted to live in a dictatorship, I would go to Korea or something like that. North and South Korea, they had the wall up for years and years and years, since way before I was born. They had the wall up. They finally just tore it down, trying to make things right. And the day after they tear it down, they already start having problems. There's something wrong with that. The dictatorships need to quit. I don't want to live in a dictatorship. I live in a free country and I want to live that way. I believe everybody should live that way. We're humans. We're all humans. I shouldn't be anyone's slave, just like he shouldn't be anybody's slave, or he shouldn't be, or she. I don't care what you are. You shouldn't be anybody's slave. You should work for yourself. Now, if you have a boss and you work for a person, that's one thing. But as long as you're being treated like a human, like someone that bleeds red when they bleed, and not a slave, not a number. I don't agree with the number system. You know, everybody's numbered nowadays. We're interchangeable. We're easily dismissible. I don't like that. I don't like that. I work for a big company. It's not huge. It's not a Fortune 500 company or nothing like that by no means. But it's still a pretty big company. Nationwide company. And I feel like a number. Don't get me wrong. My office treats me well. My division, they treat me well. They treat me decent. But I still feel like a number. I'm easily replaced. I don't like feeling like that. And I doubt you do either. I doubt it. Any human don't want to feel that way. They want to feel appreciated. They want to feel like what they do in life is worth it. But you also have to actually do something too. You can't just sit on your butt your whole life and expect everything to be okay. And I don't, and I hope I'm not offending anybody, but if I am, I really don't care, because you know what? I was raised that you got to get up, you got to go to work, and that's how you make a living. That's the way I was raised. And there's way more people out there that were raised that way than society wants you to think. The system wants you to think. The system wants you to think you can just sit on your butt and you can get paid. No, you can't. You have to go work. If this was back in the 1800s, I promise you would have been working on some kind of cattle farm or crops or both. It's only the last 40, 50 years the way it is today. Maybe 60 years now. I think it's been 60 years now. To where they progressively been getting people to where, Let's just give all the working Americans money away. All the people that are actually working for it, let's just give it away. Let's just, and then the rich, they're like, oh, well, you know, the more we give away, the more we can take. So let's create poverty to where we can take money. Because we own all of the hotels and the apartment complexes and all of it. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. Now, don't get me wrong. I do agree with standards, if you will. I do agree with categories. The poor, the rich, or the poor, the middle class, and the rich. I do agree with that to the extent of what you do for work. If you're working at a mediocre job and this is what you take care of, okay, well then that's your thing. This is what you take care of. I hate to put it this way, but you should be segregated. This is what you can afford. This is what you can do. If you want better, you need to work for it. It's just like me. I get out, I get up, right now I'm working nights, but I'm up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Right now it's 9:20 in the morning. Look, I'm going to try to show you this. I'm really doing a crappy job. 9:20 in the morning. But I've got to be up at 3 o'clock tonight, and I've got to be at work, or be ready to go at 3:45. By 4 o'clock, I'm on the road to going to work. I don't get home until almost 7 o'clock in the morning. Now, I'm not saying that's for everybody. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is I work for it. And I'm not bragging by no means. There's a lot of people out there that work extremely, extremely hard. There's a lot of people out there that work harder than I do, and I give them props for that. I appreciate your service. If you're watching this, I appreciate everything you do. And to the people that aren't working, I'm not saying anything bad against you. I'm not saying anything bad against you. I'm saying that if you want better, you need to work for it. Plain and simple. If you're not willing to work for it, you really don't want better. You just want handouts. And that, nobody, there's a lot of people that I know have heard this. I've heard it growing up my entire life. If you're not willing to work for it, it's really not worth it for you. When someone just gives you a plate of food, it's easier for you to throw that food away. But if you had to work for that plate of food, you really want to do everything you can to make sure you eat that plate of food and not just throw it away, because you put your cold hard cash into it. Your own, the sweat off of your brow, the pain in your back. You did that for yourself. We have to get away from this system of the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. We have to get away from that system. We have to get to the system of the poor are able to take care of themselves. The middle class are able to take care of themselves. I mean, now don't get me wrong. Like I said, I understand the three stages: the poor, the rich, or the poor, the middle class, and the rich. Look, if the rich are smart enough to go out there and create houses and all this other kind of stuff to make money off of, that's fine. What I don't like is where the middle class or these people are sitting here and we have to pay taxes that goes to the rich and goes to the poor. Our money should be our money, plain and simple. If I work for it, I should be able to disperse it in my livelihood so that I can take care of my livelihood the way I need to. It shouldn't be going to take care of the rich and poor unless I'm investing it in that area. Say, for instance, a couple of YouTubers that I watch. they've asked for donations. I donate. I'm okay with that. I freely, with my own intention, gave because I wanted to give. But I don't think it's right to be forced. I don't think that's right. To an extent. To an extent. I do believe that we should have to pay some kind of tax because we do need our military and our police. To an extent. That's something else that I can't get into today because this video is already going to be a long video. I understand we do have to pay some taxes for that kind of stuff, but I don't think it should be for the people that aren't willing to work. I believe it should be to take care of our country, to take care of the ones that are going out there and busting their butts for our country, the military, the police, and those, so forth and so on. That's just the way I feel about it. And again, if I'm offending people, I'm sorry, but I just don't care. At the end of the day, we have to get, I said in the comment, we have to get certain people out of office. There are certain people, and again, I try not to get political. I don't like to at all. But there are certain people in office right now that are doing everything they can to hurt the American people. And if the Americans would open their eyes enough to see what's going on and not just what they want to see. Now, I understand there's a lot of deception. News medias are deceptive, as more deceptive than most movies. A movie will flat out tell you this is a fictional movie. Media portrays things as the truth. And anyway, this is another rant and raving, so this is what it is. I've had an issue with it for a long time, and I'm finally being able to get to the point in my life to where I can start speaking out about little stuff like this. Now, mind you, my channel is not all about this. My channel is breaking the system for me. Just a quick rundown. I know I've kind of talked about it a little bit, but another quick rundown. Breaking the system for me is getting away from that. Learning how to go on your own to where you don't have to work for someone and kind of being controlled, doing your 9 to 5 every day. Now, yes, it's taking me some. It takes time. It takes hard work and dedication. I'm going to get about 4 hours of sleep today. I'm okay with that because it's for my future. It's for my children's future. It's for my wife's future. I'm not going to try to live off the backs of someone else. You understand what I'm saying? And let me rephrase that. I'm not going to live off the backs of someone else and not work for it. If I have a business and people come and buy from me, that's one thing. That's business. That's smart. That's probably one of the best things you can do if you can run a business successfully. If you can feed a family of 4, plus have money in the bank for all the bills. That's very, very smart. But to do it without working is the problem. Again, I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm not. I'm just speaking out on why I started. One of the reasons why I started this channel. Anyway, again, this is Breaking the System with Andrew Riley. Smash the crap out of that like button. I could really use some likes. If you guys have any comments, concerns, gripes, complaints, leave them in the comment section below. I will try to get back to y'all. Right now, it's kind of up and down. Sometimes it takes a few hours because of work or whatever. Like I said, those comments that I mentioned earlier, I had to deal with them at work. Luckily, I have a job that, I can work and I can deal with this kind of stuff. Also, I can do both things. I'm very blessed in that area. But I had to get there. I had to work for that. I had to grow my knowledge to get there. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. Subscribe to the channel. When you push the subscribe button, make sure you push the notification bell and push all, so that you'll get all notifications from me every time I upload a video. That'll really help out the channel. And please share the video on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you guys, social media accounts, Twitter, Instagram. I don't know all of them. There's a lot. And then, just share it to them. It'll redirect them to YouTube, and I would really appreciate that. It would really get the word out, kind of about what the channel is about and stuff like that. I really do appreciate you watching, and we will see y'all Friday. Oh, and sorry for the late video. See you later.